Listen, man, I'm gonna keep it a bean. I'm not gonna sit here and clap and be overjoyed for the obvious. This was the obvious that needed to occur. Like, I don't know why it took so long to sign CD, but Jerry finally came to his senses. They finally came to an agreement. The Dallas Cowboys finally did it. Only took y'all forever.
How about that bag that Jerry Jones just gave CeeDee Lamb? He's an all-pro wide receiver. CeeDee Lamb reportedly reached an agreement today on a record 4-year, $136 million deal,
Sheesh.
second highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history.
My
A lot
God.
of you guys have been messaging me on the X and on Instagram telling me that this breaking news officially happened, so I immediately ran to my room to make a video on this because it's fairly significant news, and I don't really know how I can articulate my emotions about this because on one hand, I feel like this could have been handled significantly better. On the other hand, I feel like they could have made this way worse. So before we get to the content, make sure you drop like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to help the channel grow. Now that we get all that out of the way,
Oh.
finally here, and Prize Picks is hooking us up fat with a flight on, everybody.
There we go.
The CeeDee Lamb contract negotiation was one of the most stressful contract negotiations I think I've ever seen or experienced as a Cowboy fan, because through it all, we saw Jerry Jones play this gigantic game of chicken and bluff, and he was just really bad at doing it. It's like having that one buddy at your weekly poker game that consistently goes all in and bluffs when he clearly doesn't have a good hand, so at a specific point, you just know to call his bluff each and every time. That's kind of what it felt like watching Jerry Jones make the moves he made. And meanwhile, you have the Philadelphia Eagles just making masterful moves, whether it's huge splash acquisitions like Saquon Barkley and Bryce Huff, bringing alongside Vic Fangio, or even the smaller acquisitions like trading for Jahan Dotson, or extending Devontae Smith prematurely at a very reasonable price before extending their wide receiver one before this crazy frenzy of wide receiver contracts came out. So as a Cowboy fan, when you're watching the Eagles make all these moves, and in the meantime, you're watching Jerry Jones take his sweet time extending his best players and waiting till the very last moment to do so, only to say this when he's interviewed about it.
We are so involved in trying to see where we are with our situations that is a major part of seeing the leaves fall, seeing the time go by, seeing this day and this week, how they go by. I have, in my life, played option quarterback so many times and wait until the last leaf on the tree. And if you want to picture an pure option quarterback going out to the sideline, I have run that ball and kept it and not hand it off to the back, not pitch it back, not throw it. And I have run that thing all the way out to the sideline before I made the decision, because I couldn't get whatever it took it wasn't right for me to make the decision. And so what our fans, what you're seeing, what we deal with is we're buying time. We're option quarterbacking, and we're going on out towards the sideline, and we haven't handed it off. We haven't pitched it. We're trying to make our mind up what to do. Does that sound like Mahomes to you? A little bit? Okay. It do.
Then obviously,
He sounds better than Biden. You know what I mean? I mean, he's not as bad as Biden. But you want to talk about word vomit? How is someone explaining something to me in English and I still don't understand a single thing that you're saying? Whatever.
Cowboy fans are going to be extremely disgruntled. I mean, it's like we've seen this movie over and over again. This team could very well be a Super Bowl contender if their players weren't paid as much as they were, and if the Cowboys brought along a general manager that understood how the salary cap worked in 2024. Now, regardless, Jerry Jones continued to play chicken and bluff throughout the summer. At some point, it got so bad that Cowboy players got really upset. The last time we made a video on this topic, he came out and said this.
I don't have a sense of urgency about getting it done.
It's a long series.
CeeDee Lamb just took a screenshot of John Machota's tweet about this and just said LOL. Micah Parsons retweeted it. At a specific point, this became very much unnecessary, and it was only a matter of time before the Cowboys extended CeeDee Lamb. But there was a huge question of how much CeeDee Lamb deserved to be paid. If you paid him in March, then you probably could have gotten gotten away with paying him $30 million. But I like to think that the Cowboys front office isn't as incompetent as I make them out to be. I mean, you don't have to be a genius to know that the sooner you extend your star wide receiver, the better. I would like to think that the Cowboys would understand this principle and try to get to work right away on extending CeeDee Lamb. And in this case, while in the past,
You would have thought they learned from just re-signing Dak. You know what I mean? Like when Jerry could have re-signed Dak to a much better deal, a way more affordable deal than the one that he gave him initially. You would have thought like, yo, it was to the point where you could slowly see Jerry losing all the leverage where like, not only do you have to pay Dak, but you have to pay him more than anybody else. You know what I mean? And you even saw it, like, I think it was at the press conference during Dak's signing where Jerry was just like, he alluded to like losing the battle, basically losing the deal, losing the negotiations, or like admitting to like overpaying Dak. You would have thought Jerry learned from that Dak situation. Hey, I just overpaid my quarterback and he's not really worth that, but I understand the market. But CD's actually worth it. So when you got someone that's actually worth every penny, you would think, yo, pay him as soon as possible. Pay him as soon as possible, bro. Because this market, there's no telling where the ceiling is.
I have said that I believe that the Cowboys are being stupid in delaying this contract extension as much as humanly possible. I do think there's a good possibility that it was CeeDee Lamb's camp
my boy. I fuck with
delaying
CD,
this
man.
as much as possible.
Oh, my
Knowing
God.
that Justin Jefferson is in your draft class and he's up for a contract extension might have played a hand in CD delaying this as much as he possibly could. And a part of me even believes that this goes all the way to Brandon Ayuk. I believe at a specific point, there may have been a gigantic game of chicken being played between CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Ayuk to see who could be the final wide receiver paid, because that's a measuring stick for each wide receiver to determine the correct amount to get paid. So just going based off of that assumption, there's only one way that the Cowboys really could have this up, and it's either not paying CeeDee Lamb and trading him, which would have just pushed this team to a gigantic rebuild. It would have resulted in a bunch of disgruntled fans. You could kiss any playoff hopes goodbye, which even though I don't think the Cowboys are Super Bowl contenders, I do think they are wild card playoff contenders, and that's clearly something that the Jones family wouldn't want to do. The only other way you could have really screwed this up is if you paid CeeDee Lamb more than Justin Jefferson, which fortunately they didn't. According to Ian Rappaport, the Dallas Cowboys and all-pro wide receiver CeeDee Lamb agreed on a massive 4-year extension worth $136 million per Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissaro. And according to Adam Schefter, this makes him the second highest paid non-QB in NFL history. The deal includes a $38 million signing bonus, which is the largest ever given to a wide receiver. To the Cowboys' credit, they got this done before Brandon Ayuk signed an extension with the 49ers and Jamar Chase signed an extension with the Bengals, although Jamar Chase technically could wait another year before signing his extension, and I think that's probably what's the most likely thing to happen. But if you take a look at all the wide receivers to sign contract extensions throughout the offseason, I mean, Justin Jefferson, DJ Moore, Amon-Ra St. Brown, AJ Brown, Jalen Waddle, Nico Collins.
Damn, look at some of these deals, bro. Jefferson 4-year 140, DJ 4-year 110, Amon-Ra 4-year 120, AJ 3 years 92, Waddle 3 years 84. Like, this is the going rate for wideouts, bro. Calvin Ridley 4 years 92 is insane. And I don't think not a single player is overpaid.
DeVonta Smith, Michael Pittman Jr., Calvin Ridley, Jerry Jeudy, and now we have Jamar Chase.
Jerry Jeudy got a new deal? I can't see how much that is because this damn YouTube line is blocking it. Hold on, let me bring it back a little bit.
DJ Moore, Amon-Ra St. Brown, AJ Brown, Jalen Waddle, Nico Collins, DeVonta Smith, Michael Pittman Jr., Calvin Ridley, Jerry Jeudy, and now we have Jamar Chase and Brandon Ayuk up next. And although I'm happy that CD finally got paid, the one major area of concern I have now is whether or not the Cowboys could retain Micah Parsons. You see, if you were to pay Dak Prescott and make him the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, which despite what a lot of fans want to say about Dak Prescott, he very well could demand it, and he does deserve it based off of his body of work in the regular season. And then you have CeeDee Lamb that's getting paid $34 million a year annually, and then next year you need to pay Micah Parsons a contract that is at least close to what Nick Bosa is getting paid, which is $35 million a year annually, then you have this problem where you allocated about 67% of the projected salary cap space to those three players. And that's not a way to build a contending football team. Now, is it out of the realm of possibility for Dak Prescott to take a pay cut? I don't think so. I mean, you've seen it happen recently, and this isn't Dak Prescott's first contract extension. I don't think so. Typically, quarterback is completely close.
Hell no. We don't give billionaires discounts. We don't care. At the end of the day, it's not Dak Prescott's responsibility to build out this roster. It's Dak's responsibility to win football games and throw the football. No, you ain't getting no food stamp discounts. Pay the man what he's worth.
Close-minded to taking a pay cut.
Figure it out.
They have their first big contract extension, but whenever it comes to their second big contract, usually there'll be a little bit more wiggle room for the quarterback to take a massive pay cut. That coupled with the fact that there is a recent shift in players understanding that they can put their teams in contention to win Super Bowls or championships by taking pay cuts. Now, I'm not saying that Dak is a horrible human being if he asks for $60 or $65 million a year from the Dallas Cowboys. I can also understand taking that path and trying to earn as much as you possibly can, especially because football isn't forever. But Dak has been on record saying that he doesn't need to be the highest paid QB in the NFL. Going all the way back in April, Dak Prescott said, "No, I'm not trying to be the highest paid QB necessarily. We'll wait until the negotiations begin, and obviously, I want to put this team in the best possible situation." At the same time, Dak can make a significant amount of money this offseason if he signs an extension and also provide the Cowboys with some salary cap relief, but in the future he can make even more. I mean, listen to what Troy Aikman had to say about him.
Dak Prescott, I do believe he's going to be the first quarterback to 60 million. And
from Jerry or somewhere else?
That's the question. And the longer this goes, the more I think he will be playing somewhere else. If it continues to drag on and he plays great, and then the Cowboys come in late to say, hey, now we want to pay you, I don't know where his head will be at that point.
Regardless, I'm very thankful that the Dallas Cowboys didn't screw this up because it could have been way, way worse. Jerry Jones has already proven to me that he is really terrible at projecting the landscape of the NFL. I mean, if you guys forget, Jerry Jones thought that the salary cap was actually going to decrease because of the NFL Sunday Ticket lawsuit.
Because I feel like when you look at cap, you need to have a feel of where the revenue is going to be down the road. I feel like I know better than anybody living. I've got a feel for what the revenue is going to be 4 or 5, 6 years from now than anybody living. I've spent all this time doing that, and I understand it. And if you don't understand what the revenue is going to be, then you can't look ahead and see what the cap is going to be. I've got a better feel, I think, than anybody.
He's wrong.
Because I have a sense of what revenues might be for the whole league.
You're wrong, Jerry. Somebody tell him he's wrong. He's been wrong for a very long time, bro. Oh, my goodness. I bet you Dallas Cowboy fans cannot wait because Jerry is not going to step down. Unfortunately, there's only one way for him to not be the GM of the Dallas Cowboys. Not that I'm wishing it on him. I just know Jerry ain't going to step down. You know what I mean? He's just not, bro. And any GM with any bit of foresight could have saw the salary cap going up and making the right decisions to spare themselves some extra change to really build the roster. Because when you look at your competition, again, I'm going to keep going back to just the NFC East division. Forget the NFC East as a whole. Focus on the 4 teams, the other 3 teams you're competing against. Look at the roster that the Eagles are able to build despite paying Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is paid. And they're still able to get Saquon, AJ, Devontae, and now Jahan. Like, you know what I mean? And still making additions to the defense despite already paying Jalen Hurts. This just seems like the Cowboys are just behind the wheel, bro. They're behind the wheel. I'm glad CD got paid, but all this is on Jerry, bro. I'm just like, you know me, I'm going to keep it a bean. You come in here, you come to this channel, Gabbo's always going to keep it a bean. I don't spare feelings because I don't give a damn. I just got to call it how I see it, bro.
4, 5, 6 years from now.
He's wrong.
And so that if you see me optimistic, then you must know that I think it's pretty good. If you see me a little cautious, you must know that I'm being cautious. I mean, I'm a big people, but I didn't add that the other day, but I'm the best at looking around corners. Now, I don't know what that is. But as far as body language and instincts, I'm better than anybody.
But only for the $4.7 billion judgment to get overturned against the NFL. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. On top of that, we have some breaking news about Juju Smith-Schuster. We might get a double upload day to you guys. It might be up already. I'll leave a link to it in the end screen if it already is. And aside from that,
you can't tell millionaires anything. You know what I mean? You just can't. When a dude is worth 9 figures, you can't tell him shit. When a dude is worth $1 billion, they don't even got ears, bro. Unless the thoughts come from within, everything that you could possibly say from the outside looking in falls on deaf ears. Like Jerry Jones, there's no debating, there's no telling him what to do. Like once you reach that billionaire status, you kind of feel like you're a genius, bro. I see it all the time, whether it's with Elon or some of these other people that are just so full of themselves that don't feel like this shit stink or they can ever make a bad move. Jerry Jones just never takes accountability for how bad the Dallas Cowboys have been. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But I'm glad CD got paid, bro. $38 million to sign a piece of paper. $100 million long-term guarantee. It's not bad, bro. It's not bad. I'm happy for that, at least. Dallas Cowboys finally did it, man. I appreciate you guys. Hit the like and subscribe button for more content. I'm your host, Gabos. This is just what I do, bro. I don't know what to tell you, bro. Like, I may not be your favorite. I may not be the best. But I'm the one that the people come to. Okay? I just made that up on the fly. I'm going. I'm going, yeah.